Um, the right-wing nutcases in this country, in media and political, have been making real hay out of the issue of Benghazi, 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 right? A tragedy occurred there. 5 people, 5 Americans died, including our ambassador to Libya. The whole operation in Benghazi has been, I guess still is, shrouded in secrecy. Some intelligent guesswork goes from that Benghazi was a CIA operation where people were sent to be tortured, and I'll be talking about that a little bit later tonight too. There are all sorts of speculation about what really happened at Benghazi, but what the right-wing devils in this country have been doing is blaming Hillary Clinton and or Barack Obama, that they had made the decision that nobody should do anything, and they were going to come up with a cover story about a movie and all this other crap. And it's been relentless. This piece of human dreck, Darrell Issa. How many hearings has this son of a bitch held on Benghazi? How many? Huh? How many people has all of a sudden you don't hear about Darrell Issa anymore, and I'm sure that really pisses him off, because if there's one thing Darrell Issa likes, it's to be on camera, to watch the evening news and see all the forced reporting, because this freak bastard is trying to conjure something that anybody in the intelligence community knows is not true. Now, there are several angles here. In the first place, and I'm going to get to this later on too, the CIA, under the control, and it still is, a big faction within the CIA is still under the control of Dick Cheney. That's what he would do when he would be at undisclosed locations, if you remember back during the Reign of Terror. And under Cheney's direction, this faction within the CIA is hell-bent on one thing and one thing only, and that is destroying this president. Now, let me qualify that. Not just this president. Any president that is not a right-wing fascist. It could be a Democrat, or it could be a Republican. But if he's not right-wing enough, if he won't take the blue pill, then, okay, he's dead meat. Or they'd like him to be. Or they're going to do, because the goal of Cheney and his CIA operation is to impose fascism on this country come hell or high water. Cheney is so hell-bent on this. He has been hell-bent on it ever since he avoided the draft so he could stay alive and do this, even up to the point of taking somebody else's heart when his body said, "It's time for you to die, sucker." And no, not yet. No. I haven't instituted total fascism in the United States. Well, there's a new book out. There's always a book, right? The book was written by some CIA, or not CIA, but some, what do you want to call them? Commandos. They are former Navy SEALs. And, well, I'll tell you when we come back. This is pretty bizarre. And what I'm curious is to see if the filth and the slime that is the right wing in this country, if they will acknowledge a book written by former SEALs who at Benghazi were private contracted commandos. I'll tell you about it when we come back. Okay, we have been told for, 2 years now that it was Obama or Hillary. Here's the story from the Times. 5 commandos guarding the CIA base in Benghazi, Libya in September 2012 say that the CIA station chief stopped them from interceding in time to save the lives of Ambassador J. Christopher Stevens and an American technician during the attack on that mission. In a new book scheduled for release next week and obtained by the Times, the commandos say they protested repeatedly as the station chief ordered them to wait in their vehicles, fully armed, for 20 minutes while the attack on the diplomatic mission was unfolding less than a mile away. Quote, "If you guys do not get here, we're going to die," end quote. A diplomatic security agent shouted to them over the radio. The commandos say in the book, and they left the base in defiance of the station chief's continuing order to stand down. The book is entitled 13 Hours. It is the first public account of the night's events by any of the American security personnel involved in the attack. The accusation that the station chief, referred to in the book only as Bob, held back the rescue opens up a new front in the fierce political battle over who is at fault for the American deaths. Republicans, you know who they've blamed. American officials had previously acknowledged that the CIA security team paused to try to enlist support from Libyan militia allies. But this book is the first detailed account of the extent of the delay, its consequences for the rescue attempt, and who made the decisions. The commandos' account, which, by the way, fits with the publicly known facts and chronology, the commandos' account suggests that the station chief issued the stand-down orders on his own authority. He hoped to enlist local Libyan militiamen, and the commandos speculate that he hoped the Libyans could carry out the rescue alone to avoid exposing the CIA base. No meaningful Libyan help ever materialized. Now, the commandos were former members of American Special Forces teams hired by the intelligence agency as private contractors. Two of the team, both former Navy SEALs, died fighting the attackers at the CIA base later that night. 5 others are credited as the co-authors of 13 Hours, which was written with their cooperation by Mitchell Zukoff, a professor of journalism at Boston University. Mark Geist, Chris Paranto, and John Teagan are credited by name, and 2 of the authors use pseudonyms. The story pretty much verifies what Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama have been saying from the get-go. And please don't make me defend them. I'm not trying to. There are so many things to go after this administration on. This, I don't think, happens to be one of them. This is about as valid, the charges that Clinton or Obama were responsible for Benghazi has as much truth to it as Barack Obama was really born in Kenya. But my feeling is, and I don't think I'm alone in this, and again, I'll get into this later on in the program tonight, but my feeling is that Dick Cheney, on his orders, put in place enough people within the CIA that they would do anything as the directives came from him, whether he was the vice president or not. And that those directives included do anything necessary to not just embarrass this president, but hopefully to enrage the people who would do something, A, to harm him, or B, to impeach him. I mean, if there's one thing that Cheney is above all else, he's a white supremacist. Totally. And I don't mean the cheesy KKK, let me put a hood on my head, half-wits who run around the South here. I'm talking about a global white supremacist. Global. Anybody of color. Cheney disdains and in fact would probably like to see them all laid out in neat little rows, not breathing any longer. Cheney is the kind of racist that Adolf Hitler was anti-Semite, or anti-Jewish, I should say. The same thing that motivated mass killers throughout history motivates Dick Cheney. So the deal in Benghazi, a secret base there, did Obama know about it? Who knows what Obama was made privy to? Who knows what this poor, misguided president was told when he assumed office? Don't forget, the election of an African-American president in this country just about caused the white races, the global white races, to have goddamn strokes en masse. All of them almost fell down dead. What? What? When he got reelected, that was even worse. Now, as far as I know, these are my opinions. Maybe it's just stuff I have picked up from reading this and reading that. But this book, 13 Hours, where these authors who were there and who were there to kill people and protect other people, they are the ones making the statements now. Not this punk-ass Daryl Issa or some of these slobbering right-wingers that infest media. We'll be back after the break.